last Thursday, so for 8
Yep.
or 7 days. We are requesting at this time, she is at this time wishing to admit to the violation, that she was unaware that the no contact order of the limited nature of the exclusion zone for the no contact order. She had spoken to her spoken to her child's father, who was in need of Pampers and wipes, and they had agreed, instead of her coming there, for her to drop off those items at a friend/neighbor's home in that same area, opposite sides. But on the opposite side, she indicates that when they're stating was driving around, that she was going to that person's house, and that that was part of what was necessary for her to leave. She understands and is very clear that there is, she does not have a criminal history like this.
I did, sir.
And she did. It was not as in the time as quickly as they would like. She was trying to explain that she was trying to get the diapers and such, and that she was not trying to go over to the house. But I think now she has not had this kind of trouble or been incarcerated on a case for the number of days that she has on this case. And she's really...
Before we dive in, just a quick note. This commentary is created for educational purposes, designed to help those who may be confused or curious about courtroom processes. If you don't find it helpful, feel free to skip ahead. But for those who want a deeper understanding, stay tuned, because this hearing spirals fast. A young mother says she was only trying to deliver diapers and wipes for her child, but the court sees something much bigger. A possible violation of a no-contact exclusion zone only hours after a judge laid down strict rules. What starts as an emotional explanation quickly turns into a courtroom battle over trust, compliance, and credibility. And once the judge starts connecting her actions, her attitude, and her reactions in court, everything changes. Watch closely, because one wrong move in this courtroom could send her right back behind bars.
Learning her lesson, and this will not happen again. So we are asking that.
Police were also kind of suspicious as to whether or not she had been drinking.
She indicates that she has. I do not know why they. Go ahead.
May I speak, Your Honor?
Would you hear?
Go ahead.
So when the officers came to my godparents' house to get me, they said that it was the tether company that wanted to pick me up. I was on hold with the non-emergency line trying to get a civil standby, but he didn't let me explain that. And it's like when you come inside my apartment complex, the only way that you can exit out is if you have to go all the way down and then come around the opposite side, because it's like gates that they have to let up. I understand the seriousness of the situation, and I am very sorry, Your Honor, but my child really did need those Pampers and wipes. But I still have not had no contact with my kids. I have been doing my sober link. I have been sober, and then the officer that arrested me, she said that me taking a PB wouldn't hurt or harm me. She just said that if it was up to me, and she didn't say that it was mandatory. So that's why I was like, well, I've already had a signed sober link. Why do I need to take a PB when I did use my sober link that day? And it was a compliance test. That this would not happen again, Your Honor.
And for some additional information, the child who is the subject of the case still continues to reside in Pontiac and was not in any that area. This was for her youngest child, who is with her father. With her father.
Instruction people.
I obviously read the report. I doesn't seem like it was vindictive or anything on the defendant's part, but it was disappointing that it was within hours of us discussing it and discussing how her and counsel needed to go about for taking private advantage access for younger time. So while the actual context of what she says she was doing and what I tend to believe she was doing is not negative or violent or like that. I just have concerns that I have disregarded what we talked about kind of ad nauseum last night when we were here. And I have concerns that when asked by police to she refused, but I don't have a lot of information from the police as to why they requested that she do that. That's a long-winded way to think that I'm ultimately going to leave it up to you. I think that she needs to continue to maintain her sobriety, but that she needs to also continue to follow those orders in terms of where she can and cannot be. And so I'm not going to be that she can see her children at this point in any capacity if she is to be released.
And my own client, if you were to change the link.
Going to,
I'm sorry.
Where was she supposedly going to take these diapers?
To a friend's place who lives in the same apartment complex. But it's the one off Grove Lakeshore. So it's a huge apartment complex. So she did not think that taking it to that other person's place so that her partner could pick up the diapers and wipes would be an issue. And she knows now very clearly that that's an issue. She's nodding her head in agreement. And
when the police showed up, you were upstairs, right?
She was at a different location.
I did leave, Your Honor. It was really quick after I left the apartment complex and I went to my godparents' house. Tell me to leave. So I went and parked my car. And then the police showed up shortly after that. I was not upstairs when they came. I asked them, was I able to change my clothes? And they did let me change my clothes because I had on something prior to when I was at court. It was a dress.
If you look, you'll see that in the report, it gives another address. And it's my understanding that address is not within the complex. And that was where the tether agent or the tether agencies dispatched. And that is not in the complex, as she said, at her godparents' house.
When they told you were in the zone, why were you arguing with them?
Officer, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying. I was just trying to explain to him like what I was doing. And when he called me, I was on hold with the non-emergency line because I've had to get 2 civil standbys and then the other tether people, they let me.
When they told you were in the zone, why didn't you just leave?
So
instead of arguing with them,
I should have, Your Honor, and I'm very sorry for that. I'm telling you, Your Honor, this would not happen again.
It shouldn't have happened this time.
I understand.
young lady, when you left here, I know you were not happy with what the court said that you were going to get a SCRAM tether before you saw your kids. I know you weren't because of the way that you walked out. And you have to understand how you look, because some people think I'm not paying attention to what's going on. I'm paying attention to everything that's happening in this courtroom. And I saw you stomp out past the gentleman the gentleman and the woman that were here for supporting you. You just walked past them. You walked out, and then within hours of that hearing, and we had talked about, and I think it's important to point out, we had talked about how you were going to go about getting visitation with your child. You weren't happy with what there was going to be a SCRAM tether prior to that ever occurring. You walk out of here, and then next thing I know, you're in the zone, the exclusion zone. And then when I get the entirety of what I have here, people are, could be an accident, could have driven through it. But then when I get the entirety of the report, you're arguing with the people. You're arguing with them when they're telling you you're in the zone and to leave. And you don't leave. And then I think there's a reason why I don't understand why all of a sudden then all of this happens. Understand some of the underlying charges in this case. They ask you to take a PBT and you don't. I'm not saying that you could be compelled to do it. You didn't have to. Right. But if you look at what is here, I don't get why you didn't.
I think in retrospect, Your Honor, she would. I think, but she indicated at the time she was in compliance with the sober link and had blown in earlier that day, and so
my sober link that day, Your Honor. And I explained that to her. I just didn't bring it with me when they arrested me, like my sober link that I had.
So this has been a very harsh lesson, but she has learned it.
Oh, harsh, yeah.
Of her own making.
So I'm not opposed to the SCRAM tether if I will prove to the court.
Oh, so, yeah, now you want the SCRAM tether because you want out. You messed up big time. Because I'll be honest with you, when I heard the allegations, I don't know why you're out. But I figured somebody saw something that you were in compliance and maybe there'd be some. And then you do this. So, young lady, you tell me why I should trust you.
Your Honor, I feel like that I should be trusted because, well, for one, I am starting the peer recovery program. I missed my treatment in the program Monday because I was incarcerated. I have to go on the SCRAM tether and go back on GPS tether. I would not enter the exclusion zones anymore, ever. Because this is just my first time being in trouble. Like I have not been in trouble or have to go through like things like this before. I also have a job that I have to get back to as well. It's a really hard lesson for me, but I really feel like sitting in here, even on Mother's Day weekend, like I really have learned my lesson. And if you trust me, I will not disappoint, and I can prove to the court that I can stay sober and stay compliant. And I just ask that you would please take that into consideration, Your Honor.
What are we doing with? The case is already set for what? Prelim before me
Yes, Your Honor.
this Tuesday.
On Monday, there is an interview, a child access center interview scheduled with a child victim on this case. So I don't think I'm going to have the detective order signed that interview over to prior to that preliminary exam. I just wanted to put that on the record so that that's clear.
We understand that. At this time, we'd like to keep the date and then, but understand
Right.
there may be some additional, if Your Honor would allow discussion on that day. I know Ms. Yagi plans to keep this case and to be at the preliminary exam. It's going to ultimately be her case in self-report.
Defendant's bond with previous issues is reinstated. Young lady, I'm going to give you a fair warning because this case is before me. You mess up at all, I will put you back and you will stay. Am I clear?
Yes.
In the end, the judge gives her another chance, but it comes with a serious warning. Her bond is reinstated under even stricter conditions, including GPS monitoring and a SCRAM tether, showing the court still has major concerns about whether she'll follow the rules moving forward. This case is a powerful reminder that in court, credibility is everything. The judge wasn't only focused on where she went, he was focused on how she responded, how quickly she complied, and whether her actions matched her words. One emotional decision and one misunderstanding of court orders nearly changed the entire direction of this case. Now the question goes to you. Do you think the judge made the right call by giving her another opportunity, or should the violation have landed her back in custody? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.